Good day, everyone. I'm Kadit Navarro, and I will be discussing the expected utility model and risk aversion. First is the expected utility model is grounded in several key concepts. Utility represents the satisfaction of a value an individual derives from the particular outcome of the decision. Utility is a term used to determine the worth of value or the good or services. More especially, utility is the total satisfaction of a benefit derived from the consuming of a good or services. People, based on a rational choice, assumes that the consumers will strive to maximize their utility or overall satisfaction of a product. Second is the expected value. This is the sum of all possible outcomes of a decision. Each multiplied by its probability of occurrence. It's a measures of the central tendency of a random variable. Expected variable expected value is thought to be representative of the probability weighted average of all possible values. That is to say, it is an expectation of all futures value that considers different probable outcomes and the weighted is outcomes based on how likely they are to happen. A person is given a variety of possible outcomes that compare those outcomes based on the probability of occurrence on, or how likely they are to happen. Third is the expected utility. It combines utility and expected value to evaluate decision under uncertainty. It calculates the expected value of the utility of each possible outcome. And four, diminishing marginal utility. It states the additional utilities, these functions gained from the consuming one more unit of a good services decrease as a consumption increases. This concept is crucial in understanding how individuals make decisions. And five, probability weighting. Recognize that people may not always accurately assess probabilities and may overweight or underweight certain probabilities when making decisions. The tendency for individuals to overweight low probability events while also underweighting high probability outcomes is also known as probability weighting.
What is risk aversion? Risk aversion is a refers to an individual reference percentage over an answered risk averse individual and are willing to accept lower expected value in return for greater certainty. Risk aversion is a predictor of whether an individual will become successful. Low risk aversion or stay as high risk aversion successful people take risks because they are necessary to start and grow. They are making choices depending on how much risk and involved. If it much risk that a person will make a more conservative and choose with a predictable. How do you know if you are a risk averse person? First is when you make choices that are staying away from any sort of risk. Second is if you choose option that limit loss. Third is if you are afraid of risk. Last is if you are every worried about the risk involved in a certain area of life. What is a risk-averse person? An individual who is not comfortable handling and lot risk. This person will make a decision in life to avoid or limit. What is the opposite of risk-averse? Risk-seeking the direct opposite of risk-averse. Uh, Risk-averse individual will choose risky option in life, maximize the potential of greater reward. These individuals are attracted to risk option because of this. How do people develop risk aversion? People develop risk aversion due to various factors and past experience, cultural influence, and psychological threat. Negative experiences with risk of loss can lead individual to become and more cautious and risk averse and future. Additionally, cultural norms and values may shape attitude towards risk taking. Psychological traits like personality trait and cognitive base can also influence risk preference. For instance, individual with a higher level of anxiety or a tendency towards and pessimism may exhibit greater risk aversion.